Calculus kids, this is Dr. Callahan for week 7, Tuesday for AP Calculus semester 1. These are your 3 questions for the warm-up. Go ahead and pause the video and get started. All right, so last time I saw you guys, we talked about how to graph f prime of x using f of x, and there were 3 different rules that I asked you to start off with. First, look at the max and min, because that is when the turning point of the slope is, because the slope at a max and min is at 0. And so here are the identified points. I sometimes like to draw these little lines here, so that way when I draw my f prime of x, I know where to meet the x-axis. So this black line right here is going to be f of x. My goal here is to go ahead and write the f prime of x. Second is you want to look at the positive or negative slope. If it's positive, it's above the x-axis. If the slope is a negative on the f of x, it is going to be below the x-axis. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first part. That is a positive slope. And so given the fact that that's a positive slope, it is going to be above the x-axis. So, and I want to make sure that the ending of this is joined over here right at the slope equals 0 mark at the x-axis, so that way when my slope turns and I have to go down to the denominator or down to the below the x-axis, I'm able to do that instead of being left midair. All right, then let's continue with this. Then my next part here is going to be a negative slope. So a negative slope means that it is going to be my f prime of x and be below the x-axis. So maybe to right there. And then from that part, it is going to change again to above the x-axis because the slope is positive. So I'm going to just go up and maybe stop right there. Make sure I am ending at the x-axis. And then the very last part is a negative slope. So my graph is going to go below the x-axis with something that looks like this. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. This was the free response question that you guys had from yesterday. And yesterday I told you guys how to use the power rule, okay, which is definitely a lot easier than using the limit definition. So A, it says that find the derivative if f of x equals 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. Well, your f prime of x is going to be equal to, using the power rule, bring down the 2. 2 times 2 is a 4, minus the exponent of 1. So 4x minus, remember the 3x is going to be a constant, so you're just going to use the negative 3 in front of it. So negative 3. Ta-da! How easy was that? If you were going to go ahead and use the limit definition, that would be substantially more work, obviously. And so this is significantly less work. All right, so number 1, or A, letter A, done. Then we're going to do B. So f prime of negative 3 is equal to 4 times negative 3 minus 3, which is a negative 12 minus 3, which is a negative 15. And that is your f prime of negative 3. Done. C, find the equation of the tangent line to f of x at x equals negative 3. Okay, so the equation of the tangent line is y equals mx plus b. So my y value is missing here, but I do have my m value, which is a negative 15, x, which is negative 3, plus b. But I can't figure out what my y value is if I go ahead and plug it into this equation. So I have 2 times a negative 3 squared minus 3 times 3 plus 1. Y is equal to 2 times 9 minus 9 plus 1. So 18 minus 9 plus 1 is going to give me a 10. So then here we go. There's 10. 10 equals, this is going to give me a positive 45 plus b. So if I were to solve for b by subtracting the 45 on both sides, I have a negative 35. So my equation is y is equal to negative 15x plus negative 35. And that is the equation of the tangent line at x equals negative 3. Okay. Let's take a look at the second equation. I am actually going to erase this part so that way I can go ahead and do this. So hang on tight, just give me a second. All right, here we go. And my battery is running low at 8%, but I think I have enough to complete this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So this one, the f of x is in a square root, and like I said before, you don't want to have it in a square root. You want to have this written in exponential form to the 1/2, okay? And so here it says find f prime of negative 4. So this is one that I haven't actually shown you yet. It is called the chain rule, and we're going to get there, but we're not quite there yet. So you're still going to apply the power rule, bring down the 1/2. So f prime of x is equal to 1/2, 2 minus 3x, minus a 1 on top, so it's going to be a 2 over 2, so negative 1/2, times, and here's where the chain rule applies. The chain rule basically asks you to find the derivative inside the parenthesis, and that's where the chain is. So here is inside the parenthesis, the derivative of a constant, so of any number, is always going to be 0. So then the 2 becomes a 0, and that negative 3x becomes just a negative 3. I know it's a little crazy here, but you guys will get it, I promise you. So then looking at this, f prime of x is equal to 0 minus 3 is a negative 3. Negative 3 times 1/2 is a negative 3 over 2. And then you're going to have this going back down to the denominator, which will make it a positive 1/2. And if you put it back into a radical form, 2 minus 3x. So the question here asks me to find negative 4. So I have a negative 3 over 2 square root of 2 times negative 4 times 3 is going to give me a 12. So then I have a negative 3 over 2 square root 14. And I don't have a calculator with me, but this is your slope. So whatever this says, put that into a decimal. And it is going to be a negative 0.4. So I got that. Okay, so your slope is a negative 0.4. Okay, so then A is now done. B says find the equation of the tangent line. That is going to be at x equals negative 4. So then my y value is going to be negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. So my y value is a square root of 14. So then with this one, let's do point slope form. So then I have y minus square root of 14 equals a slope, which is a negative 0.4 times x minus 4, so x plus 4. And you can go ahead and simplify that a little bit further, but that essentially is going to be your equation. All right, so then after that, we went over the 4 different questions I had you guys practice on your table. So the first one is fairly easy. The third one is actually pretty easy as well. I kind of want to get into the nitty-gritty of example 4 on this one. I first see that they're both with a square root or cube root, so I don't like that, so I'm going to change it. So x to the 4th minus 3x squared plus 4x to the 1/3. And then what I'm going to do, because I know the bottom here is x to the 1/2, I'm going to go ahead and just formulate its 3 different fractions, x to the 1/2, x to the 1/2, x to the 1/2. Now, we haven't attempted to find the derivative yet. Everything up to this point is simply just algebra 1 stuff, okay? I want to move this up, which will give you a negative 1/2. So you don't want to have a 4, you want to have an 8/2. So you have a common denominator. So then my first one here, get rid of this, is going to be x to the 8 minus 1/2 is going to give me a 7/2 minus 2 minus 1/2. You don't want to have a 2, you want a 4/2, which is going to be an x to the 3/2 plus 4 minus 1/2. Well, with this one, you would have to have a 6, 2/6. This one will have to have a 6 as well, 3/6. So this will be x to the negative 1/6. Now that I have everything written like this, I can now move forward to finding the derivative. The derivative of the first one, you bring this one down, so 7/2x minus 2/2 is going to give me a 5/2. So boom, done. Now do the same thing with the second one, bring that down, the exponent down, so minus 3/2x minus 2/2, 1/2. Plus, bring the negative 1/6 down, so you have a negative 4/6, x minus 6/6, which is still a 1, negative 7/6. So then if I were to go ahead and rewrite this, I will have a 7/2, x to the 5/2 power, minus 3/2, x to the 1/2 power, minus 4/6, move the x down, x to the 7/6 power. Now, if you decide to be a little bit fancy, because I'm not quite sure what the multiple choice question will actually give you, because it might be in radical form. If it's going to be in radical form, just make sure you put 7/2, x to the 5th power in the square root, minus 3/5 square root of x, and then minus 4/6 x squared with a 6 on their outside. So that is going to be your answer right here. All right, let's take a look at number 5 here, okay? For number 5, you will have to FOIL this. So that's going to be a 3x times, first is x squared, outer is going to be 1x, inner is going to be 1x, so that's going to be 2x once I combine them. Last is just 1. Distribute the 3x into the trinomial. 3x to the 3rd plus 6x squared plus 3x. And then when I find the derivative, bring the 3 down, 9x squared, 12x plus 3. Oops, oh no, I don't like that. There we go, much better. All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and proceed forward with today's stuff. Oh, yesterday you guys also had a calculus puzzle that says, what did the Ninja Turtle say when he handed the expression with the limit definition? And it should be derivative. Cute. And the next one is, why do derivatives never grow old? I asked you to go ahead and use the power rule on this one because they are always in their prime. Prime. Goodness. All right, so today we're going to talk about a little bit of a whiteboard practice. I have a Kahoot and a quizzes in class. And also, since you guys are doing this at home for you virtual kids, make sure you guys today just practice on these 2 puzzles. The answers are already shown to you on the video itself. It'll be a little bit difficult to do the whiteboard practice since we are virtually not together. And so if you would just focus on that, that would be great. All right, go ahead and turn into your notes today for week 7, Tuesday.